Right, so let's get to our teaching today, and it's another interesting one. And if you turn your Bibles, walk in His glory, overcome your challenges. And if you turn your Bibles to 1 Samuel, now this is all a continuation of what we've been teaching. We've been looking at the glory of God. And we've noticed that the glory of God, while it's full of majesty and splendor and all the power and all of that, the other side of the glory of God, the meaning of it, doxa, is reality, opinion, view. God's reality, God's opinion. So when we say glory, when you say walk in glory, we're not asking you to walk in cloud nine. We're not asking you to walk in a cloud that's nice and fluffy and full of razzmatazz. Now those things happen, and I've seen it. We're talking about a reality that has been created by God. And if you live in this reality, and if I live in this reality, or when I live in this, and when you live in this reality, you actually create a world. And please remember this. We all live in a world that we create. The world that we are living in at the moment is what we have created. I'm not talking of the greater world of the galaxy and the universe which God created. I'm talking of our current world. We created. Now sometimes people speak of saying, I am what I am today because of my parents, or because of, either way, negative or positive. And I'm what I am because I was brought up this way. Or I am what I am because, I was born into a poor family, and so now in Sri Lanka, ancient times, if you were born into a carpenter's family, you became a carpenter. If you were born into a doctor's family, which they called a medical person, they had a nice name for that, which I won't say, that if you were born into that, then the duty of the parents was trying to perpetuate their craft. Now, our Father, who is in heaven, our God, Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, wants to perpetuate His craftsmanship in our lives. That is why we are the workmanship of God, created in Christ Jesus. Okay? Ephesians 2:10, we are the workmanship of God. We are the poem. The word actually from the Greek means a poem, a voice of God. And then in Ephesians 3:10, it talks about us being the wisdom of God to principalities and power. So God wants to perpetuate His reality through us, His opinion, His view. But unfortunately, most people have become what they have become because of their own view and in their own reality, which either came from their parents or came from their choice. No one, please remember this, no one is what they are today because of some kind of voodoo or some kind of thing that happened in the past. No. Today we are what we are because of what we have chosen to be. Yeah. Now God wants us to live in His reality. So we find a young man called David. Now I want you to look at David's life first of all before we come into the scriptures. David was a forgotten son. He was a forgotten son. His father did not even remember that he had another son. He was out in the fields looking after his sheep. Samuel has come to anoint the next king amongst Jesse's family, and Jesse brings in 6 sons. And God says to each one, no, 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 no. And then Samuel says, got any more? Ah, okay, the shepherd boy. Right, yeah, the shepherd boy. These sons were well built, they were strong, they were sent into the army, they were well looked after, they were accepted. Jesse, shepherd boy, he's looking after the sheep. Ah, I'll call him. So can you see, this boy was from a very, very rejected feeling. If you read the story again, when he comes to meet his brothers he was the cheese carrier, the bread carrier. He was not sent into the army. He was looking after the sheep. And so the father says, now I want you to go and take cheese and bread and to your brothers. And when he comes to them, can you imagine it? He's coming to serve them. And you know what his brother says? Now what have you come for? Now what have you come to do? There's a kind of animosity, a kind of rejection. And if David lived according to that reality which others were creating for him, he would have been a mess. Yeah. Because I know I have counseled many people who have lived in realities that others created. Yeah. Even parents. Yeah. You're always like this. You will never learn. And they grow up like that. I came up of a reality like that, which was created by other people. You know, when I was in school, I was put right in the back. And the teacher didn't want to see my face. Can you believe it? Nice, innocent guy like me. And the teacher didn't want to have me in front to influence him and to encourage him and motivate him. There must be something wrong. But anyway, I was put right at the back. In fact, one teacher would come and say, at least he called me Mr. He said, but sarcastic, Mr. Obeyesekere, my surname. Either you leave or I leave this class. For the sake of this class, it's better I stay. So please, will you go? And I had to go. But I joyfully went because I would walk out into the corridors, and if the principal met me, I had a good excuse. Well, you ask that teacher. And that teacher was the head of the department, so the principal would ask him. But you see, that's how I was brought up. And so I felt, wow, what kind of a guy am I? Not wanted, unwanted, rejected. And my brothers studied, they got some tremendous results. My eldest brother got what is known as a double distinction. In those days it was called double mathematics. Yeah, double maths they used to call it. I don't know what they call it today with all these new inventions of subjects. They call it double mathematics or double maths, and he got a distinction in that. Highest achievement. I didn't even know what arithmetic meant. I studied, I got 2 passes and a credit. I didn't study, I got the same 2 passes and a credit the next year. Now, if I continued living in that reality, it would have been my choice and nothing to do with my teachers. So I could have, blamed him. Like Adam, the woman you gave me. Yeah, he blamed God. He didn't blame the woman. He was saying, he didn't give this woman to me, nothing would have happened. And the woman, she blames the serpent. The poor serpent didn't have anyone to blame. Did he go back and say, oh, you created? No. He got the curse on him. So, beloved, I want you to know this. David was such a person. David was such a... Welcome. Please come. David was such a young man who was brought up in those conditions. But David lived in a reality That is completely different. So he now goes here and he is speaking to these people, and in the first verse he says this. He's talking and he's finding out, and his motivation is completely different. I wouldn't be at all jealous of him. I would do the same thing. What's the reward? The king's daughter. That's great motivation. Right. But the first thing he says to them, right? If you read there, he says, "What's it that is in there for me?" Let's pick it up from verse 23. And as he looks at it, 1 Samuel 17, he's asking them the question. Who likes to read it?
As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his line and shouted in his usual defiance, and David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear. Now the Israelites had been saying, "Do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. He will give him his daughter in marriage and will exempt
what
him.
an incentive!
And he will exempt his family from taxes."
What a motive!
Yeah.
And David is quite a funny guy. He asks them to repeat it later on when you read. He says, "Tell me about that again." So he's not all that spiritual. He's just like you and me. "Tell me about that again." And they repeat. And then he says this. I think it's in verse 26.
Yeah. So David asked the men standing near him, "What will be done for the man, a man who
They have
killed
just told him that.
the Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?"
You got it? We'll stop there for the moment. How did the Israel army, I'm not talking of one man, I'm talking of an army. How did they see Goliath?
Yeah.
What does David perceive behind this whole thing? You see, there's a big difference between perception and seeing. Seeing is based on your natural senses. Perception is based on your inner being. That you are able to perceive beyond what you see. Remember in Acts 27, you don't need to go there, trust me. Paul is talking to the people and he says this, "Listen, I perceive that there is going to be a storm. I perceived. The storm began because they assumed, right? They assumed that it was good for them to travel because they depended on the helmsman. But Paul perceives beyond that. And he says, I perceive a storm. These people saw a nice fair weather. But Paul perceived a storm. And based on what they saw with their naked eyes, they assumed. That's what you get there. And then they walk into the storm. You got the difference? Most people live by what they see, hear, feel, touch. Their five senses. And even Christians live in that area. Unless I see. Thomas, I won't believe. Now God in His grace and His mercy will give us opportunities to do that. But we've been called to perceive. That's why we've been given. One of the manifestations of the Holy Spirit is the discerning of spirits. The discerning of spirits, to perceive. So here you are. What does David perceive? Everybody sees the Goliath and they run. David, he perceives an opportunity. And that's why he calls them the uncircumcised Philistine. You know, you read that story. Amazing. He never once called him Goliath. not once.
Mm.
He always called him uncircumcised Philistine. You know why? Because he looked at these things the way God looks. He saw a reality the way God views things. And anyone outside the covenant of God is uncircumcised.
Yep.
And David knew this. Now watch this, okay? David was a shepherd boy, looking after sheep. But he had such an experience. Most of his psalms were written there. But how about this? Why is he going to take on this uncircumcised Philistine? Because he says to the king, your servant tore a lion. He killed a bear. Are you with me? God was with him. Hello?
Yeah.
Beloved, you can be in any circumstance, but if God is not in that, whether it's rich or poor, if God is not in that, it's going to be an absolutely boring circumstance. Even if you have the riches around you, it's boring. You look at John on the Isle of Patmos. History records that he was put into boiling hot oil 3 times. Couldn't be killed. He couldn't be killed. And because of that, they threw him into the Isle of Patmos in exile. But you know what? He didn't care. Because he had a reality, he lived in a reality that enabled him to overcome his challenges. And what was that reality? The Spirit of the Lord. And he says this in Revelation chapter 1. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. Where was he? Isle of Patmos? Physically. But where was he? In the Spirit. Our reality is here. Unfortunately, we are stuck here. You remember the little chicken that I spoke about? Yeah? Eating his little worms. We're called to be eagles. Yeah? You see, there's a lovely story about this little eagle. It was born amongst chickens. Little eagle born amongst chickens. And he was brought up in the idea that he himself was a chicken. But one day, he had the opportunity of looking at an eagle. And he said, wow! And you see the chickens began to say, well, that's not us. You are a chicken. He accepted the reality that others told him. He died a chicken. Hello? He died without the joy of spreading his wings and rising up, because he accepted and got conditioned by what others do. Now, David is not going to accept this. He accepts the reality of God, the view and opinion of God. And the view and opinion of God, this is none other than an uncircumcised Philistine. His view of God is that God will be able to give me the strength that he gave me to tear a lion, kill a bear. So much so, as you read the story, Saul finally agrees, accepts his CV, and says, okay, but hey, listen, why don't you take my arm? And the poor fellow tries to fit himself into that armor. Doesn't work. And he says, no, thank you very much. I'll take the sling. And then he finds 5 stones. Why did he find 5 stones? Not because there's a 5-fold ministry. There's some teaching. If that is what they were teaching, that these 5 stones represent the 5-fold ministry, David only used
One.
one. So what happened to the other 4? But the 5, you know why he took 5 stones? Because David knew there were 5 giants. He was ready for all of them. He was going, in his mind, he was going to meet with 5. He was ready to meet even 5. Because his God is greater than 5 Goliaths. Now verse 45. He's now confronting. He's confronting this major challenge. And what does he tell this major challenge in verse 45? We'll actually read that.
Then David said to the Philistine, "You come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts."
Ah, you got it? Jehovah Sabaoth. The name. You remember last week we looked at how Jesus told his disciples, "I have manifested your name." And one of the names of God is Jehovah Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts. And the Lord of hosts means the Lord of the armies of heaven. Man, this man was something else, yeah. He's living in a different reality. You may think he's cuckoo. You may think he's, he needs to be put in an asylum with a straitjacket because he's a danger to society. But he says, you come with all these physical huge things. I come in the name of the Lord. He doesn't even say, I come with a sling and 5 stones. He says, I come in the name. And what does the name represent? The character, the integrity, and the nature of God. I come in the name of the Lord of hosts. I come in the character. I come in the integrity. I come in the nature of my God. And what is the nature of my God? 1 John chapter 4 verse 4. Greater is he that is in me than he that is of the world. That's my reality. My reality is not made up of what I see. I see a javelin. My dear friend was talking about people saying there's going to be a 3rd World War. From where they got it, I don't know. It's not in the Bible. 3rd World War is not in the Bible. The God who delivers in the Bible.
Yeah.
The God who loves his word is in the Bible. A God who will not let his word be destroyed is in the Bible. A God who has sworn that never again will he flood the earth is in the Bible. Are you with me? This is our reality. That in spite of what we see around here and all of that, we still believe in the God of the Bible, the Word of God. And so David sees this and he says, I come in the name of the Lord. And then he makes a promise based on that reality. What does Goliath see? What does this Philistine see? He didn't come to me like a dog. No. I don't come to you like a dog. I come to you like God. You got the spelling wrong. You got the spelling wrong. I come to you like God. Hey, listen, I'm not a little boy. I am imaging God before you. And before evening, I will have your neck. I will have your head on a plate. Man, he didn't even have a sword. But I will have your head on a plate. What a man of faith, eh? A man who believed in a God who is greater than everything around him. And you know the rest of the story. One shot. Down he comes. Head chopped. On a plate. Beloved, when you stand with God, he stands with you. when you stand in the truth of His covenant, which is His reality, which is His view, which is His opinion, when you stand in the opinion of God, rather than the opinion of men, when you stand in the way He views things, when you and I stand in the way He perceives things, and with Him we perceive things, everything else crumbles. Everything. And you can change your circumstances. You can create your glorious future. You can create your reality. And you can live it and enjoy it. You know, Paul says this about himself. In Ephesians 3, verse 1, he says, I, therefore, a prisoner of the Lord. I'm not a prisoner of Caesar's chambers. Most of his epistles were written from where? From prison. For us, we need an air-conditioned office with a nice, lovely table, and computer, and typewriter, and all of these. This man was in a prison, in a dingy little hole, and he wrote most of his epistles, which you and I enjoy today as God's Word. And you know why? In his thinking, in his view, in his perception of God's reality, he was never a prisoner of Caesar. He was a prisoner of the Lord. And as a prisoner of the Lord, he can do great things. And so in Philippians chapter 1, I want you to turn there. It's amazing, and we'll close with that. In Philippians chapter 1, he speaks to the church in Philippi. He's writing it from his little prison. And this is what he says. You there? Verse 12. I want you to know, brethren. I want you to know that the things that have happened to me have happened for what? For the furtherance of the gospel. He turns his reality of the physical life into the reality that he is called into. And what is that? To further the gospel. And nothing is going to stand in his way. I want you to know that the things that have happened to me have happened for the furtherance of... And so, listen to this. His chains become the instruments that remind him of his commission, so that he may overcome his challenges. When he lived in the reality of God, when he lived in the glory of God, he overcame his challenges. So much so that the whole Praetorian Guard, man, this is the highest elite of gods, they came to know Jesus Christ. You know why? Because every time, this guy, you couldn't stop him worshipping. So guess what? When he raised his hands, they raised their hands. Why? They were chained to him. When he bowed down, they bowed down. Why? Because they were chained to him. He knew the secret of turning his chains into a commission to bring glory to God. You with me? Because he changed, he created his reality, and he affected others through their reality. The same is in Acts chapter 16 when he was in prison. His reality of God's presence created a reality for an earthquake, and everybody got free. You with me? We have this lovely little quotation by Jenny Fisher, where she said that you spend time praising God in His presence. I'm paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
in the presence of God, you praise Him. Guess what happens? His power comes into your circumstances. As you praise Him, as you begin to rise up and exalt His reality in your life, His power comes down to change your circumstances. And as He changes your circumstances, you know what? You affect all around, like a ripple effect. Beloved, in 1981, Savi and I stepped into this land. I left a tremendous job with tremendous potential. I was offered a job in Australia. I was offered a chance in Australia to go study there and become the sole representative or the sales representative of, I don't know whether you've heard of this company, but it's called Dexia Rotterdam. It's called Dexia in Sri Lanka. So I was invited to come to Australia. They will train me and they will make me their marketing salesman through the company I work for in Sri Lanka. At the same time, the call to come to Dubai came. I chose to come to Dubai. Not because it had the money, but because, and believe me, we didn't come here for the call. We didn't come to serve the Lord. I simply came to serve Savi because she had just recovered from rheumatoid arthritis, just recovered from walking onto the bed. She was paralyzed for 3 months on the bed. Immediately after, on our honeymoon, she was struck with rheumatoid arthritis. 3 months after that, she was paralyzed, bedridden. She couldn't move. If she got up, that's the way you had to take her to the bed. And I would take her to the bed. I would dress her, I would do everything. Wash her, dress her, leave her on the bed, go to work, come back, she's still on the bed. She couldn't. There's no way. The way she sat is the way you had to take her back to the bed and then stretch her out in order. And she had just miraculously recovered as God touched her. That's another story. So immediately after that, her parents invited us and said, come over, there's an opportunity. So I came here for that, because her parents and her whole family were here, so I served her in that way, to come here. So I left that opportunity to come here. And when I came here, I went for my interview. I was not interviewed. I went for my interview because those days it was primitive in terms of the way they had people coming. So I went there, and my interview was with the front office manager. Here again I hear things, the same thing that I heard in school. You know what he told me? It was like a flashback. He said, Neil, Mr. Obeyesekere, you don't know anything about front office. So either you leave or I leave. I'm here, I'm having a flashback. But for the interest of this company, it's best you leave. So I go back to the financial controller and I said, this is what has happened. He said, yeah, we're going to decide to see what we can do for you. You know where I ended up? I ended up in the stores as a store hand. And for 6 months I was carrying boxes. I was weighing 43 kilos. I was carrying boxes. Every day I'll travel all the way from Dubai to Sharjah. And my travels were not in cars. My travels were land and sea. Land because I'll come in a car. I'll come in a taxi, cross over the Abra to Dera, take another taxi, and then walk from the Rola to Sharjah Continent, now known as Renaissance. And I'd work. I'll come back home tired. Same trip. And in the cold sometimes going on that boat. But you know, I lived in a reality which was surrounded by God. And one fine day, I took my reality. I was not going to be a storehouse. I would go and learn. I would go and study. I would go and do all sorts of things. And within 8 months, I was promoted as an assistant storekeeper. Long and short of it, when I finished my career with the hotels, I was the regional purchasing manager. Because I made my word. I created my word. I had 4 accountants who rose against me, all 4 were sacked. And they vowed to see me out. And all 4 of them had. Beloved, when God is for you, who is against you? When you are in the environment of God, then you should know that you can change your reality. You can create your reality. You can create your world. And that world doesn't have to be the world that you're now living in. That world is a part of heaven. That's why you're given the power and authority to bring heaven on earth. Amen?
Amen.
See, beloved, we live in God, in Christ. He was wounded for our transgressions. You know what that means? He was cut. Why? Because that's the only way He can put us into Him. You know what engrafting means, right? When you engraft something, you have to cut and then engraft. Jesus had to be cut that we may be engrafted. And now, my life is hid in Christ, in God. I'm a product not of my past. I'm a product of God. Amen?
Amen.
When I live in this reality, I can overcome the challenges that face me. Bless you. Have a great week. And learn to live in this reality and walk in it. Don't worry if people call you fool. Don't worry. He can take the fool and confound the wise. Bless you. Amen.